Hey everybody, welcome to the Uprooted podcast. I am your host, Hanna, aka Rutha, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself today and hopefully, just introduce you to what this podcast is all about.
So, you said aka Rutha, but real name Hanna. Is there a backstory to that?
Yeah, so my dad is known for giving people nicknames. So up until I was about 7, I would say, I legit thought my name was Rutha, and I thought that Hanna was just some immigrant name, when everyone comes with their papers. It's so ridiculous. So Hanna's my actual real name at birth, but my dad didn't like it. So when I was born, he decided no, she's Rutha, like my root. And I was like, so you decided to give me a whole nother name that has nothing to do with it? So basically, I have 2 names. It's a little bit confusing. It's definitely annoying when I'm filling out paperwork, but that's just it. I have 2 names. I pretty much will answer to anything at this point.
What do you prefer though? More Rutha or Hanna?
Honestly, I prefer Rutha. I feel like I answer to Rutha more. I just feel like it matches my personality more. I feel like Hanna, especially because I grew up with people saying Hanna, I'm like,
also
that just
sounds,
so Sada. And then especially I was a 90s baby and everyone's like, oh, Hannah Montana. I'm like, no, absolutely not. So I think that I just kind of never really felt like Hanna was my name. So.
All right, Hannah Banana. Next question.
Gosh. My dad really still calls me that too. It's just actually really annoying. But yeah.
Why did you start this podcast?
It's funny enough that you asked, because the person asking me these questions is the person that has told me to start this podcast for probably a year now. Basically, we talk all the time. I studied psych in undergrad. I grew up watching Oprah probably most of America did. And I just I like to talk to people. I like to get to know them. I like to know what their story's about. And I think too, for me, it's I want to also help people in whatever way that comes. So usually just through conversation, getting people to kind of open up and talk about what they're going through and being able to share what I've gone through is super helpful. So it just kind of naturally occurred, and I have these conversations all the time to the point where everyone's like, dude, you need a show. So here we are, Uprooted. Root, like I said, with my name Rutha, and then we just started, and there's no better time. We're in quarantine, and I have no more excuses for why I'm not doing a podcast.
Last question. What do you hope people gain from the podcast?
I really just want our community to just have more conversations and be honest and be real with each other, because I feel like we all go through similar issues. I know that we're all trying to figure out life. I know that it's really hard to be first generation in America because our parents don't actually understand a lot of the stuff that we're talking about or that we're going through. And it almost feels like you're 2 different people sometimes. So it's you are who you are at home with your family, and then you go out and you feel like you have more freedom or whatever the case is. And I feel like there's a better way for us to have open communication and dialogue and just be able to be our authentic selves, to a certain extent. There's some things we still don't want to talk to our parents about that has nothing to do with, coming from a different country. But there's so much that we just have to understand, we're pretty much creating our own culture. So I think it'd be really dope if we just had a space to have those conversations.
Well, thank you, Rutha.